You know, thinking back on that whole thing, it's still crazy to me to even think about the fact that he's dead, man. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever talked about or covered on my channel. The fact that that guy died. I don't know. Twomad was not a good person. I think that defending Twomad as a person on his character is dumb. And I've seen some people do that. I've seen some commentary channels be like, he did nothing wrong. That's not true. He absolutely did things wrong. It's hard to retread the entire Twomad story to an audience of people who may not have watched it. I assume most of you have seen this video at the very least, if not the second channel videos and all of them, and watched through the censorship saga with it. But the conclusion of the Twomad thing was that it was suspected that he had overdosed, but we didn't really know. It was suspected he had overdosed, but the police had yet to confirm what was the official cause of death at the time. But TMZ, for some reason, okay, TMZ is like waiting to find out about everyone who died and how they died. TMZ is like Nightcrawler, literally, okay? You guys seen Nightcrawler? That is what TMZ is. They wait for someone to die so they can post the reason they died. Can't wait to report your death, It's literally that kind of situation, okay? Well, cause of death revealed, overdose on morphine. Now, when I hear about morphine, like when I think morphine, I'm thinking like, I used to watch Band of Brothers a lot. Like when I was, I think part of the reason I get along with Wendigoon so well is that he has a really extensive knowledge, other than just getting along on a personal level. He knows so much about history, okay? And I used to be a history spurg when I was like, I'd say up until I was in high school, probably. I love watching war movies. I love reading books about war, especially World War II. World War II was the big one, obviously. That's the coolest one, the swaggiest one, okay? The greatest drama, the greatest characters, the greatest players. But morphine was always like, it would be like you get shot in the leg. You'd be like, morphine! And then the guy would come over and give you a morphine shot. Like that's like my knowledge of morphine is a thing that exists. Well, according to TMZ, and apparently the police, he died of morphine. YouTuber Twomad passed away back in February, and TMZ has learned his exact cause of death, an accidental morphine overdose. TMZ obtained the County of Los Angeles medical examiner's report, and they say Twomad, real name Medea Sadiq, died from morphine toxicity. Mitragynine? How do you say that? Mitragynine? Mitragynine. How to pronounce? How do I say this word? Mitragynine? All right. Mitragynine. Mitragynine, another drug commonly used to treat opioid withdrawal, also contributed to his death. So apparently he was having withdrawals. He was on morphine, but he also took I forgot how to say it. He took M drug. He took Chemical X, another drug commonly used to treat opioid withdrawal, which contributed to his death. We broke the story. Police discovered Twomad dead at his Los Angeles area home after cops say his therapist called him to conduct a welfare check. So I didn't even remember this detail. I didn't remember that his therapist called. Was that in this article? They don't mention the word therapist here. I didn't even know that. His therapist called in a welfare check. Wow. I didn't know that at all. Law enforcement sources told us they were looking into the death as a possible OD because they found drug paraphernalia at the scene. Now they confirmed drugs as the culprit. The influencer tweeted several concerning pics in lead up to his death, including multiple images of guns. Tio is a controversial influencer known for posting skits, commentary, and other stranger videos to his profiles. With this picture of Belle Delphine is the one they're using. Super great gooner material there, I guess. He made waves for collaborating with OnlyFans star Belle Delphine, posting shots in Toy Story costumes. Twomad was 23. Rest in peace. You know, thinking back on that whole thing, it's still crazy to me to even think about the fact that he's dead, man. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever talked about or covered on my channel. The fact that that guy died. I don't know. Twomad was not a good person. I think that defending Twomad as a person on his character is dumb. And I've seen some people do that. I've seen some commentary channels be like, he did nothing wrong. That's not true. He absolutely did things wrong. I mean, he basically described to me on my stream about how he pressured that girl, Goldie Bell, for sex. You know, in not so many words, I'd say he almost describes harassment / assault. I don't think that he's a good person, but I also don't think he deserved to die. He wasn't a pedo. Yeah, he wasn't a pedo. At least not that we have any evidence of. Not that Jameski is published. Jameski, I know that you're retarded. Yeah, pretty sad though. You know, I think regardless of that, it's still sad that a young guy who was 23, who hypothetically had his life ahead of him, overdosed alone in this room. You know, I got a lot of shit for my video title about him because I think that on Twitter anyway, people who watched it actually got it. But you misunderstood, not a bad person. No, he was. I think it's bad. I think it makes you a bad person to pressure women into sex. I think that probably makes you a bad, well, not even pressure. That's like putting it very lightly. I don't think that he was a good person. He himself didn't think he was a good person. He didn't care about anyone else. He was narcissistic as hell. He was not a good person. He wasn't just misunderstood. He was a fucking asshole. But I don't think he deserved to die. That's the real thing. And it's sad that he died. You know, a lot of people gave me shit for my video. People who didn't watch it said that I was defending Twomad. People who saw the title, they were like making fun of the title and whatever. And you can make fun of a, you know, YouTube title if you want to do that, whatever. If you watch that video, the point of it is not like Toomad's a good person. It's like he's a bad person, and we watched him, or he became a bad person rather, and we watched him fall into a very negative cycle that ultimately destroyed his life. And it's sad, you know. It's sad to it's not cool to watch someone become a shithead and a bad human being, you know. It's not nice. So yeah, I don't know. People on Twitter are more adverse to evidence than Tom is averse to any spider slave of its size. I mean, Twitter is just full of retards most of the time. But it is what it is, you know. It's dangerous YouTubers to do drugs and the bad shit happens. I mean, I don't think it's good for people to do drugs in general. I mean, there can be instances where it's relatively harmless, but I don't think that drugs in general are a good idea. I think the closer you are to sober, the better, probably. You're going to be in every aspect of your life, in terms of productivity and just, you know, being good to people around you. The closer you are to being sober, the better of a person you're going to be, in my opinion. So I think you should try to be sober if you can. Do you miss Twomad, Tom? I mean, not as like a person. I miss his content. As a person, I don't really think I miss him.